Yes, it is Raising Howl. I'm your host, Jeremy Harper. This is a Monday. I think maybe we should do this every Monday, right? Get together for a discussion, one-sided, of course. It's all about me, right? Again, I'm Jeremy Harper. This is Raising Howl. We're going to talk about a really good weekend for Arkansas State. It was a good weekend. Yes, it rained. It was cloudy. It was a little gross out, but it doesn't matter. It all started. Brian Gerwig gets his contract extension with the volleyball team and then immediately loses to Troy. Isn't that what always happens when a coach gets the contract extension? Immediately lays a goose egg? It's okay. It's all good. Coach G, he responds the next evening, beats Troy. It's good. Gerwig deserves it. He's turned that program around. And we needed that, didn't we? I mean, we had good volleyball. Coach leaves for Houston. We're sort of in the doldrums for a while, and now we're back. Congratulations to Coach Gerwig and his contract extension. That was at the beginning of the end of the week, if that makes any sense. So Saturday was homecoming. Yeah, and it was not a great day for homecoming against Georgia Southern, right? It was raining, a little cold, not too bad. Here's the thing about Arkansans, though. Arkansans are prepped for that weather, right? They're all duck hunters. They're deer hunters. They've got the clothes. They've got the insulated pants. They've got the jackets. They've got the weatherproof hats. We can survive some weather. We're pretty good at that. There's probably not every fan base is prepared for that. Still, wasn't a great showing at homecoming. Now, I don't blame the people for not showing out. It was raining. It was cold. It was gross. I'm going to give everybody a pass on that. Here's the thing, though. I think that there is an attitude amongst the fan base, not everybody, but a lot of people, that this is not a good season. And for some reason, because it's not a special season at Arkansas State, that as a fan, you can just blow the season off. Or maybe you're tired of the current coaching administration or what have you. I think you're kind of missing the point, guys. It's much bigger than the coaches. It's much bigger than individual games. It's much bigger than what you even see on the field. This is Arkansas State. We're the underdogs. This is the school that gave us the tools necessary for whatever success you're enjoying today. So go out there, support this team. This team deserves support. 3 wins in a row. The last win coming up against Georgia Southern. And listen, this game started like every other Arkansas State game this year, with just a terrible defensive performance. Georgia Southern marches down the field on the opening drive. And here's something I've noticed about our opponents lately. They know what's going on with Arkansas State. They know that Arkansas State is not good in the first quarter. They know that if you're going to score on Arkansas State, the best chance to do it is within the first 15 minutes. So if our opposition wins the toss, they're going to elect to receive. And that's great for us. I love getting the ball at the second half. I think Butch Jones likes getting the ball at the second half. So let's just keep doing that. You know what? I think it's worth giving up some points in the first quarter if it means we get the ball in the second half, because Arkansas State this year is a second half team. I knew we were going to score points on Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's defense is terrible. A lot of injuries. but really just also a lot of just not rising to expectations. So yeah, we're going to score points on Georgia Southern. Good. We kind of needed that because, quite frankly, we're having trouble scoring points. The 34 points that we scored against Georgia Southern, the most points scored since the opener against FCS Southeast Missouri State. Yeah, it seems a little sad, right? Listen, Arkansas State, our offense just isn't scoring. But you know what? We get two guys last Saturday run for over 100 yards, and neither one of them was Jalen Rayner, the quarterback. Yeah, our running backs got involved. Kenyon Clay, 123 yards. Devin Spencer, 124 yards. You know, that's the kind of offense I know Butch Jones deep in his heart wants to have. A kind of offense where the offensive line pushes around the defensive line, big holes to run through. I tell you, the running backs, they saw those holes. They loved it, man. They were putting on the jets. I've never seen Spencer and Clay run as fast as they did, with as much authority and as much power. And yeah, it's against the Georgia Southern defensive line that even in the game, one of the defensive linemen went out, got carted off the field. So yeah, not playing the best defensive line. I think Arkansas State's offensive line graded highly, I don't know, by Pro Football Talk or whatever, one of those services. Of course, yeah, you're playing against Georgia Southern. We had better perform highly against Georgia Southern. Listen, that game was all about the offense outshooting the Eagles' offense. That's what that game was. Which offense was going to outshoot each other? And really it was which defense was going to step up. And it happened to be Arkansas State's defense. But we've seen that for a couple games now, right? Arkansas State defense is stepping up. Third straight game. Maybe 3.5. Let's call it 3.5 straight games where the defense, which looked so terrible at the beginning of the year, I mean, god awful, hard to watch, they're getting it together. It doesn't matter how many linebackers we lose. Kirksey, supposedly healthy. I don't remember seeing him, but we haven't seen Terry Kirksey in a while. Javante Mackey, mysteriously gone. I've heard rumors. I'm not going to repeat them here. Last night, we lose another line. Or Saturday night, sorry. I'm losing track of time. Saturday night, we lose for a while, a couple quarters. Kyle Taylor, who's just come on suddenly, become this tremendous defensive asset at linebacker. We're going to lose him because of what I thought was kind of a bogus targeting call. I mean, I'm not going to blame refs. Refs have a job to do. I didn't feel like that was targeting. Looked like a clean hit on the shoulder to me. I don't know. Maybe Butch Jones appeals. Maybe the Sun Belt reverses it. Probably not. It's not going to happen. Kind of galvanized that defense at the end of the game, though, right? You lose your top linebacker. Eagles are threatening to score. They want the touchdown to bring it in within 3. Arkansas State defense said no. They tightened up. Had the goal line stand. Limited the Eagles to just 3 points. Final score 34-24. Probably the most complete game I've seen from Arkansas State this year, and that's including the game against Texas State. Texas State wasn't a complete game. The offense just blew chunks for 3 quarters. This game, the offense performed pretty well throughout. Yeah, there was a period in the third quarter where both Georgia Southern and Arkansas State were exchanging close to 3 and outs. There was a little bit of that. Okay. But for the most part, Jalen Rayner looked pretty good. Overthrew Corey Rucker a couple times. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Desperate to see Corey Rucker get into the end zone. Had him wide open. Corey Rucker beat his man. Rayner just released too early. Threw the ball too far. Rayner, you know what? Here's the good thing about Rayner. If his passing is not working, he has grown confident in his legs. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. He said after the game, both he and Butch said that they knew it was going to be a run-heavy game against Georgia Southern. They knew that the passing game wasn't going to win the game. They knew that sticking it on the ground, it was going to rain. Ryan Vaughn, the Channel 8 news guy, was brought in as a consultant. Ryan Vaughn, the weatherman from Channel 8. By the way, just a little aside about Ryan Vaughn and Charles McCray and Chris Hudgens from Channel 8. Those guys are one-man shows. You know, when you see Ryan Vaughn and he's out there in the weather and he's, doing a remote broadcast, it's not him and a team of guys. It's him by himself. He drives his car to the location. He unpacks all the equipment. He sets up the camera. He sets up the light, hits play, doing the live feed, doing the recordings. That's all Ryan Vaughn. That's all Charles McCray. That's all Chris Hutchinson. That's all them. Maybe in the past, like in the 80s or 90s, when cameras weighed 200 pounds, you had a guy come with you, help you out. Not anymore. These guys are one-man shows. So, yeah, I guess the story is Ryan Vaughn, consulted by Butch Jones. Hey, what's the weather going to be like? Ryan Vaughn there with all the deets, the meteorology. He got credit after the game. Coach Jones was quick to give the weatherman credit. And the weatherman deserves some credit because, man, we need to know, should we run the ball? And listen, that ball was slippery. You might recall there's a 38-yard loss on one play. Comes on 4th and 1. Red Wolves call a timeout. They decide to go for it. It's a long snap. I don't know. There might be some wildcat action going on. I honestly don't know what the play was. Ball is snapped, flies by the quarterback, 38 yards down the field later. Georgia Southern has the ball. They end up making A-State pay. I asked Jalen Rayner after the game. I said, hey, what was the story behind that horrible exchange, that horrible hike? Man, it was wet. We got fixed. Mason Myers, he had some trouble. He fixed it. Good for Mason. Mason Myers was the center on that play. But, Arkansas State overcame that. Arkansas State overcame the end zone pick. I thought Rayner bounced it off a Cobb. And sorry about that. I got buzzing going on. I'm a busy man. It looked like, I thought to me, from where I was standing, it looked like the ball bounced off Chauncey Cobb and into the hands of a defensive lineman who didn't know, maybe take a knee in the end zone, get the 20 yards. He sort of lumbered out, got tackled at the 2. Didn't matter. Georgia Southern took the ball to the house from like 98 yards. Anyway, yeah, the game started like all A-State games right now. And that's just not good. I was angry. I was pissed. So sometimes that opening sequence is hard to watch. But you know what? Arkansas State's a little bit like Rocky Balboa, right? Rocky had to get punched in the face a few times before he really got into boxing. Like, he doesn't want to hurt people. Rocky Balboa, the man, he doesn't want to hurt people. He's a gentle soul. raises turtles, loves dogs, falls in love with the shy pet shop owner. You know, in the movie, his job was to break thumbs. He couldn't bring himself to do it. No, Rocky needed to get punched a few times before he's like, all right, I'm ready to box. And that's kind of how these Red Wolves are. You know, they're kind of like, we'll do some arm tackling. I won't get in front of anybody. We'll go 3 and out. It's just a game. It's just football. Oh, man. Team marches down the field, clobbers us, punches us in the gut. Yeah. Suddenly, Arkansas State wakes up. So, yeah, maybe it's time to get behind this team. Yeah, maybe it's time to stop complaining about losing to Arkansas. Stop complaining about losing to the Warhawks. Stop complaining about losing to Kennesaw State. Listen, you guys got arguments for all those. I do. Hell, I've complained about it. I still complain about it. Arkansas State's won 3 in a row. They're second in the West, right behind Southern Miss, right behind Troy. We hold those games in our hands, by the way. We hold our destiny in our hands. We got a game against Troy next week. After that, Southern Miss. We win those games, we're in the catbird seat. We just have to win the games. That's all. Hey, Butch, we just have to win those games. That's the key. Yeah, it wasn't just football on display for homecoming weekend. Ryan Pannone, new head basketball coach for the men. He dusted off the new lineup for Arkansas State basketball, put them up against UT Martin. UT Martin, the Skyhawks. You know, all right. Listen, I'm going to give you a little story, a little anecdote, a bon mot about how unfamiliar I am with this new Arkansas State team. So I go into the arena, effing Bank Arena, First National Bank Arena, and I go down to the floor. I'm going to take some photos. I especially right now, I need photos of the team. I don't know who these guys are. I'm going to be writing content. Need some photos. So I go down to the floor and I see the guys. They're out there at their rim practicing, doing the layup line, doing the dunks. Yeah, I get on one knee. I'm taking photos. About 5 minutes in, I realize I'm not taking photos of the Red Wolves. I'm taking photos of the Skyhawks. I didn't realize I was trying to take photos of A-State. I was taking photos of Skyhawks. So anybody from UT Martin, if you need just some random photographs of your basketball team, I've got a bunch. Send me a link to a Dropbox. I'll send it to you. But yeah, I didn't even realize I wasn't taking pictures of the Red Wolves because I don't know this Red Wolves team at all. It's like 15 new guys. Listen, you know what? It's tough to have to get to know a new team like this. Because last year with Hodgson, he retained a lot of his guys from the year before. So for the first time in a while, it felt like we had a team that we had gotten to know, that we had watched grow, that we knew their personalities. We don't have that this year. We got a lot of new guys. Handful of freshmen, and then a buttload of transfers. So I finally found my team, my Red Wolves. I took some pictures of them. And then I sat and watched the game as a free exhibition game against UT Martin. What do you learn from an exhibition? I don't know. I'm not good enough of a sports guy to make like a great analysis. I will say this. Everybody on the team, everybody who got on the floor looked competent, right? There wasn't one guy who didn't know what he was supposed to do. Remember when with Hodgson's teams, you'd have guys out in the court, and they were constantly looking towards the bench. Hey, where am I supposed to be? What are we doing now? There wasn't really any of that with Pannone's team, not in this exhibition game against UT Martin. Everybody seemed to know their assignment before the game began. They didn't even have to be a starter. They came off the bench. They knew what they were supposed to do. Now, does that mean that this team is going to be better than Hodgson's teams? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a different look. Hodgson's teams seem to play with more frenetic energy, right? He had that hard hat award, the guys that hit the deck the most, who went after loose balls. Quite frankly, there wasn't a lot of loose balls in this game. Everything felt tight. I'm not talking like uptight. I'm just tight. Like all the screws were properly tightened. Does that make this team, and is this team going to be better than a Hudson team? I don't know. A lot of talent on Brian Hodgson's team. A lot of four-star guys. You don't see a whole lot of that on this team, but you do see size. Chudy Diorama. And I could be pronouncing all these names wrong, by the way, because I don't know these guys. He's the 6'10 forward, the guy out of Sacramento State. He looked like he could fill the lane. He got a lot of minutes. He didn't score a lot of points. By the time I left a little bit early. I had to get to Little Rock. He had 4 points. It wasn't about points for him. It was about rebounds. It was about, creating diversions and distractions and what have you. 6'9 forward, Jackson Ellington, or Alex Ellingsworth. I'm sorry. I'll get that right. The guy from UT Arlington, the senior. He got some minutes out there, and he looked like a guy who was just a big presence out there. Not a lug. Chudy and Jackson, they're not lugs. We've had lugs before. No, these guys are athletes, and they can move. I came away pretty impressed with Ali Tonkars, the sophomore from Lindenwood, the 7-footer, the guy from Guinea. He's big, and he's not like super skinny. Like he's filled out a little bit. Is he a little rough? Yeah, 7-footers can be kind of rough, right? They're all arms and knees and elbows. He looked pretty good. I don't know if he's going to be the starter. I think it's going to be, if you're going to put someone in the middle, I think it's going to be Chudy, but I don't know. A guy who ended up on the All Sun Belt second team, Chandler Jackson, the senior out of Florida State, the Memphis, Tennessee native. He looks good. He looks legit. At one point, he's playing defense. He hits the deck. I mean, almost like face first. He gets up. You could tell he's got a bloody nose. He's constantly working with it. Nobody's calling timeout. He staggers to the other end. And then it's a fast break to A-State's basket. He takes the ball and dunks it. Ooh, the crowd. Then he takes himself out. By the time he comes back in, his nostrils are full of tissue. So he's a tough kid, but he looks like the real deal. Christian Harmon, he has a good three-pointer stroke. I saw him make 2 in a row, and then he started missing a few. I don't know. Yeah, we got kind of used to missed three-pointers from Hodgson, right? It was all about volume. I don't know if Pannone is going to be that kind of guy. I don't know if he's going to be, let's just jack up three-pointers. I don't think that's in his DNA. I think Hodgson liked the theater of three-pointers. I don't know if Pannone does. I like Christian Harmon's stroke, though. It looked really good. Who else did we see out there? We saw Joey Chama. Chammaa. Joey Chama, the shortest guy on the team. I think Kara Ritchie pointed this out. She was the first to point it out to me anyway. I had to agree and concur. He's going to be a fan favorite. The kid hustles. And he's undersized, right? He's among the Redwoods. He gets after it. He doesn't care. He's 5'11". He plays like he's 6'5". He handles the ball well. UT Martin every now and then would try to put the full court press on him. He broke out of it. He's not going to be stymied by a double team. We didn't see TJ Caldwell, the kid out of Ole Miss, junior, 6'4" kid. He might have been hurt. CJ Gathers? Don't know. I don't know how these guys pronounce their names. He's a freshman. I think he might be out for the season. I think that's the word on the street, which is too bad. We saw Matt Heyman, and some people have come up to me. Why wasn't Matt Heyman one of the all Sunbelt selections? I don't know. I don't know. How would I know? I don't know these guys. He's a 6'5" guy from Stephen F. Austin. He looked good out there. Who else looked good? Everybody looked good. Yeah, so I think this is a team that Arkansas State fans will like. They play fast. They hustle. They play defense. They make shots. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to have the same sort of, I don't know, balls to the wall personality that we saw last season. I don't think that's how Coach Pannone is. I think Coach Pannone is all about, sticking to the game plan. I think he's about, getting to the right points of the court, maintaining that area. You're not going to see a lot of goofy alley-oops from this team. If you see an alley-oop from this Red Wolves basketball team, it's going to be by design. Like it was some sort of plan. We didn't really, I don't recall seeing a single one. Remember, that was like, you had to see about 3 or 4 every time the Red Wolves played last season. If you are in this game, if you're in the arena to watch alley-oops from Arkansas State, I think you're going to be disappointed this year. You're not going to see a lot of alley-oops. I think what you're going to see is a lot of good basketball. I don't ask me if this is a good basketball team, a great basketball team. I don't know. I am telling you, these guys have size. They can play fast. They can fill the basket. Tennessee Martin never really seemed to be a threat. They started off with the lead. Every now and then they would bring the game to within 5 points. And then Arkansas State would kind of get back to work. I think they ended up, Arkansas State winning by 10, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember. Something like 74-58 or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. Can't even find stats of the game, to tell you the truth. Stat Tracker didn't put out any. But I think this is going to be a good basketball team. Yeah, I think so. Don't hold me to that.